आज के व्लॉग पे मैं बस ये चीज़ एक्सप्लेन करने वाला हूँ जो मैंने समझा है जस्ट फ्रॉम माई ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ पीपल अराउंड मी एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट। ठीक है, तो ये अंग्रेज़ी में बोलने वाला हूँ क्योंकि आई फील लाइक आई read it from a book, so explaining it in English is gonna be way better for me। और ये हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों मिक्स होने वाला है। ठीक है, तो बेसिकली मेरे पास दो क्लास के रिलेटिव्स है। एक जिसने एक पूरा महल ही बना लिया है, he has like a big महल and has like multiple properties and stuff like that and like cars and और बहुत कुछ भी है इनके पास, and they can spend around 1 lakh a month only on their kids। That's the level of this person, and then you have another person who has a fairly okay house, and he doesn't has a lot of properties and stuff like that. His income, he can spend around 15K to his kid. Both of them have like 2 kids, so just keeping that in mind. And yeah, so now the cool fact about this is both of them started from the same place. Like both of them 20 years ago or 25 years ago had same level of income. So both of them had same both of them are in the same degree of wealth. All right, so it's not like, oh, he was from a poor family and he was from an ultra rich family, so he has this. No, both of them started from the same place in life, but the difference they have in their life after around 25 year is massive. You can see the difference over here. All right, now I'm just going to explain to you why I think there is this difference. Now remember, I'm still a kid, I'm still in 22. I might not know what he has gone through in his life and what he has gone through in his life, but this is just from my basic observation. So this is just my observation which I'm applying. Maybe it could be wrong, maybe it could be right, who knows, but this is basically the understanding I have. Now the reason why he is over here and the reason why this guy is over here is because I feel like from both of this guy didn't give up. When I say didn't give up, he kept on learning, he kept on adapting, he kept on learning new things, adapting new things, and he was investing a bit of his money. He both of them had same amount of money. Now he has this money, now he has this much money. All right, so you need to keep that in mind. This is massive difference in 25 years. Now both of them are in age around this guy is in age 50, whereas this guy is in age 42 to 45. So this is both their age, so you need to keep that in mind. All right, now this guy didn't give up, and when I say didn't give up, he kept on learning. He had both of them started with same amount of money, but he invested in himself. He learned, he did a little bit of investment. Might it have failed, but he learned from it, so he invested in other things. Again, it might have failed, he learned again, and this one popped, and this one failed, this one popped, this one failed, this one popped, another popped, this one failed, another popped, this one failed, pop, like this. All right, so at beginning he had a lot of failures, but he didn't stop. He had failure, he learned, and he had a small success, then he had a big success, then he had a failure again, he had a success again, he had a failure again, he had success, failure, success, failure. So basically what this man did is he faced adversity in his life, but he didn't stop learning. He always wanted to know, okay, what's the next way to earn money? Or okay, I had this mistake, so maybe I can do this, I can invest in this, okay, this is going to give me this return. And then it failed, but they didn't give up. They learned, okay, so this is what they did, okay, so now I'm going to do that. They are just constantly learning. So there's always they're expanding their knowledge. So even if they fail, they learn from that failure and they try to do something, and that thing worked, and they figure out, okay, this works, then they got money from that, and then they invested in another thing, doubled that. So basically they were earning little bit of money from their success. Now their early success didn't give them a lot of money, but it was still money coming into their account. So they earned a bit of money, and then they invested those money, and they earned more money from those invested money, and they invested those money, earned more from them. All right, so basically he was compounding his amount of money, which after 25 years got him in this stage. All right, in a simple form. But this guy over here, it's different. He started something, he failed, and remember, this guy is still working hard. He's working, he's going to office every single day and stuff like that. Even with this much, they're still investing in new places, buying new properties, and figuring stuff out, and he's still learning. So in another 10 years, I feel like he's gonna have like, light year speed than this guy, or he's gonna be light years ahead from this guy. But this guy, he started something, it failed, then like, he didn't do anything, he just gave up. Okay, he started something new and it failed again, so he gave up. So he just figured out, okay, whatever I do is just not gonna work. So he just failed and he didn't do anything from there. Now what this did is, he tried, he failed, but he didn't learn and adapt. This guy also failed, but he learned and adapted, which over time slowly increased his value, because like, your value is linked with how much knowledge you have. So like, the more he failed, the more he had to learn, and the more he learned, the more valuable he became, until he earned this much. But his like, learning stopped when he gave up over here. That's the difference. And now he had the wealth. Both of them started with the same wealth, but his wealth compounded, but his wealth stopped here. It didn't compound from here. It failed. Like, he had this much, he's invested, it failed. He invested again, it failed. So his wealth didn't compound. So in short form, the only difference between these two person is basically their mindset, and how they like, we're always constantly trying to learn how to earn more money, how to be better, how to excel in a field and stuff like that. So he created connections. Slowly those connections helped him earn more money, which entail gave him like, more knowledge, which like, entail gave him a connection with even higher people with money and stuff like that. So he was climbing the social ladder slowly, whereas he gave up and his learning just stopped here. So the thing is, in simple term, like, this is what I like, learned by accessing these two like people in like, different wealth spectrum, which started from the same level. Like, when people say there's levels to this game, like this guy failed, but he learned and he slowly leveled up. Like, it feels like it's a slow level up, but I feel like when you're in your 50s and 45, oh my god, bro, that's like a lot of time in your life. You know what I'm trying to say? He stopped learning, that's why he's still stuck in the same place which he was 25 to 30 years ago. He learned and he adapted, and after 25 years, he's at this stage. That's the thing. Now, both of them could have failed in like, their second stage. Let me just... Sorry about that. Okay. Now, like, he could have failed over here. He could have failed again, and he could have stopped. After 45 years, he would still be in this level, right? And he could have like, started this, and this worked out, and he started this failed. And he started this failed as well. Stuff like that. Now after like 50 years, if he didn't give up and he kept learning, this guy after 30 years could have all this wealth. And this guy over here, if he had stopped here, he wouldn't have any wealth. However much wealth he had, that's the amount of wealth he would still have. So basically, it's just small incremental wins over time. It's gonna help you learn. So the main thing is, do not give up. If you fail, just keep learning. If you fail, just keep learning. Right now, I'm in my age 22. I just got 23 like a couple of days ago. So my thing is, right now I'm 23, and I look at these guys, and I feel like these guys have like, massive empires, and like they have so much property and stuff like that. And I look at them and I feel like, damn, how did they reach there? And I was just analyzing, I was thinking like, is this the right path I'm choosing, or like, what am I doing wrong? Like, these guys are here. Then I realized I'm 23 and these guys are 45. 23 minus 45, how much is that? My god, my math is bad. But like, these guys are more than like, these guys have like 22 years of like lead in life, which allowed them to get this much. And I have like, some bit of knowledge, and if I don't like, quit learning, and I just learn and adapt, I feel like when I'm at this age, I feel like I could also have like, all these properties and all this stuff, or maybe I could have like, 100x more than this. But what I know is, if I stopped learning, I'm still gonna be at the level which I am currently, and even after 50 years, I'm still going to be at the level I am. So that's just the basic thing you guys can take away from this video. It's just, you are gonna reach this like age. There's like no doubt about it. Out of every single thing over here, I am going to reach here. And I'm definitely going to reach this age as well. Hopefully, if I don't die in my 30s or like in my early 20s and stuff like that. But I'm going to reach this. So if I can take this path, I can have a lot of like, wins and stuff. Oh shit, oh my god. Never mind. Okay. My god, bro. Okay. So if I take this path, even after losses and losses, I could still learn, adapt, then I could be here. The chance of me being here is a lot. But the chance of me being here is sure if I stop doing everything and I stop learning. And now the choices, I feel like this is the choice I want to take. Just learning, adapting. And my question is, what choice will you take after watching this video? I don't know where I'm going to be, if I'm going to be in this country or if I'm going to be outside. Maybe I'm going to be working with Mr. Beast someday. Maybe I'm going to be working with my friend Torek. He has like a big empire of YouTube. Maybe he might be the person who challenges Mr. Beast. Or maybe I might have the biggest YouTube channel in Asia with over like 40 to 50 million subscribers. Nobody knows, but that's what I'm trying to aim for, to have connections with big YouTubers like Beast, Torek, and like, Markiplier, KSI, Logan, Jake, all these people, and Karimi Nati, Saurav Joshi, all these people. I want to have connections with all these people, and I also want to have like a channel which has like more than 30 to 50 million subs. And I feel like if I keep trying, keep learning and adapting, I would reach this level. And yeah, or I could be like 100 times more above them. Maybe I have like a private jet of mine. Who knows? Like, a person can dream. And yeah, when I say like, learning, like, maybe like this guy, like, started a shop, but it like, doesn't get any like, customers and stuff like that, but he still goes to the shop every single day. That is consistent, but that would not equate to hard work, because this system failed and he's like going to the shop again and again, trying to repeat the same system which has failed. So what he needs to do is he needs to research, he needs to put his hard work. Maybe he could just go to the shop every single day and he just like sits there waiting for customers and he's depending on luck. And like he's just thinking, oh, maybe he just goes there and he watches TikTok every single day. Now, from an outside person, like, it looks like, oh, he's going to the shop every single day. It's like me going inside a library every single day and like not reading a book, just going there and like just watching TikTok and YouTube. Simple as that. Just because you go to work doesn't mean you're learning. You have to actually do the learning habit. You know what I'm trying to say? So my example is just go to the shop, and if your shop is not working, analyze the situation you're in and figure out, okay, what are the next steps I need to take? Maybe I need to go to a person who has a bigger store and learn from him because he has more experience, or maybe I should try new tactics. One thing for sure is, if you do the same activity again and again, go to the shop and just like sit there and wait for customers, scroll through TikTok until the customer comes, you're gonna fail. Next thing you can do is figure out, learn, adapt, and like, a greater skill level, so that you're not dependent on luck to get customer. You're learning, okay, these are the 10 steps I can follow to get possible customers. These are the stuff which I can do to get like, higher level customers. I can do this thing to my shop. So basically you're learning and adapting. So what I want you guys to understand is, go to your work and actually learn. Don't be the guy who goes to the library and thinks like just going to the library, his brain is going to get the knowledge automatically. No. You have to go to the library and actually learn for your brain to expand. So you have to actually go to the work and learn in the work so your brain expands, alright? That's the basic gist of it. Hope you understand today's video. It was a very long video. So yeah, 90% of the time मैं हिंदी नहीं बोला मैंने, क्योंकि हिंदी पे ये सब एक्सप्लेन करना मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा हार्ड है. I'm trying to say क्योंकि मैं अभी हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों लर्न करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. So thanks for watching. Peace out.